Another pink ball test match is upon us, so now is as good as a time as any to tell you things that make the pink ball very different from a red ball. How is it that a pink ball behaves differently and the kind of impact then it has on the match. So we're going to look at 5 things that make the pink ball very different from the traditional red ball that is used in test match cricket. The first thing that you notice is that pronounced seam. So compare it with a red ball, the pink ball has a more pronounced seam. Of course, seam changes depending on the manufacturer, whether it is, I'm holding the SG ball, which is used in India. In Australia, you have the Kookaburra, Dukes in England. So each of that varies. But overall, if you were to compare a red ball to a pink ball, the seam is more pronounced. What do I mean by that? That means it is bulging out a little bit more than the red ball, where it is still a bit flatter. Now, how does that affect the match? Well, the batsmen have to work extra hard. With a more pronounced seam, you see that the ball will pitch and then give you that seam movement. So seam movement is any sort of lateral movement that you have after the ball pitches on the wicket. And so because of that pronounced seam, you tend to have a little bit more movement. In fact, based on a lot of calculations, you get about 20% more seam movement with the pink ball as compared to the red ball. So it gets tougher for the batters to bat because of extra lateral movement. Point number 2, where you see the pink ball very different from a red ball, is that extra lacquer. Now, what is lacquer? Lacquer is the element that gives this shine to the ball, and it is an element that you will see on both balls, but more so in the pink ball, and that is where you get that extra shine in the pink ball compared to the red ball. And what does that extra lacquer do? Well, for one thing, it will make sure that the ball skids on when it lands on its face. So seam, as I told you, if it lands on the seam, extra lateral movement with the pink ball. But if it lands on the face like this, if it lands on the pitch, because of that extra lacquer, that extra shine, it will skid a bit more and really hurry the batter up. You've seen it in past matches. Bowlers really use it very well, both spinners as well as fast bowlers. You've seen someone like an Akshar Patel use it effectively in that test match versus England in Ahmedabad, where he was ensuring that the ball lands on the face of it, and that would really hurry into the batter. That's how spinners use it. And fast bowlers also, you've often seen fast bowlers bowl with cross seam. So fast bowlers usually hold it like this for an in swing or an out swing, but on a lot of occasion you will also see them holding it cross seam, and with the cross seam delivery they ensure that the ball touches the pitch this way, so that extra lacquer will allow it to skid and come a little quicker onto the batter. So that's the other different thing that you see between a pink ball and a red ball, and that's why probably a lot of batters, if you speak to them, they'll say it comes very heavy on the bat. So it's not that the weight of the ball is different. Weight is the same, red and pink, but it really hits the bat harder, the pink ball. That's why a lot of batters say that it's a bit heavy on the bat. So that was point number 2. Let's turn our attention to point number 3, and this is also related to that lacquer. I told you about the seam movement. You also have extra swing movement with the pink ball, and again, because of the lacquer, it comes in contact with the air, and because it's a more greasy surface, you can get the ball to swing a little bit more than the red ball. So once again, it will be troublesome for the batter. That's why batting against the pink ball gets tougher. We have seen that. And the other interesting bit is that swing lasts also longer in the pink ball. So you will see with a red ball that once you have wear and tear, the swing stops after 30, 40 overs, the ball stops swinging. But the pink ball will continue to swing even after 40 overs, and which is why a lot of batters say that they can never be set against a pink ball. With a red ball, if you apply yourself, you bat the initial 20 or 30 over, after that it gets easy, you can bat, ball stop swinging. But with a pink ball, even a set batter can get out at any point because the swing is there for a fast bowler. That's the other thing. And because of that extra swing, that takes me to our point number 4, which makes the pink ball different from the red ball, and that is no reverse swing. So because that roughness does not come because of that extra lacquer in the pink ball, that's why you can't get it to reverse. How does the reverse swing come in the ball? Where you really rough one side up when the ball gets old, and with a very abrasive pitch and those conditions, it is easy to make a red ball more abrasive, and so that's why you get reverse swing. With a pink ball you seldom see reverse swing, mostly conventional swing, but that conventional swing stays on till pretty late. No reverse swing you notice in the pink ball. And that brings me finally to point number 5, and that is how the pink ball is tougher to spot compared to the red ball. Now, before I explain why I'm saying that, let me get down to the basic. Most people will ask that if a pink ball is difficult to spot, why not have a red ball or a white ball? Well, that's because a day and night test matches, you have to be batting during the daytime and also under light. So you found a compromise in the pink ball. During daytime, it's best to play against the red ball. But under the lights, as you know, best to play against the white ball. But because the test match goes through both situations, they thought that the best possible solution would be to find a compromise and get the pink ball, and that's why you get the pink ball. But that's where the trouble comes. So twilight, it's the time where the sun is setting and the light is taking effect. That duration of 1 odd hour, 1.5 hour, most batters say that it's very tough to spot the pink ball. Alex Carey, an Australian batter, has gone so far as to say that sometimes it looks like you're seeing just a tail for far off. If you're a keeper or a batter, when it is released from the bowler's hand, looks like a comet's tail. You've seen a comet fly in the air, or at least you've seen it in pictures. You see just the tail, which is hazy, and they say that that's how the pink ball also looks during twilight. The other reason why it's tough to spot it in twilight is because against the sky, it's tough to spot the pink ball, because sometimes it merges with the color of the sky. It gets slightly reddish, but not a very bright red, and that's where it tends to merge with the ball, and it gets very tough. So batsmen really have to apply themselves. It's not just the batters, actually. Fielders have also said. So you've seen it in the past. I remember, India have been guilty in the pink ball test match that they played in Adelaide, where they were 36 all out. When Australia were batting, India dropped a lot of catches. So you'll see the fielders drop catches too, because just like the batters, they are also finding it tough to spot the pink ball only during the twilight time. So those are 5 major differences between the pink ball and the red ball. But just to sum it up, as you would have noticed in the 5 points, more often than not, and more factors actually help the fast bowlers, seam bowlers than batters or spinners when it comes to the pink ball. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, do give us a like, and yes, don't forget to subscribe to Sports Today for more such interesting sports related content.